Have you ever laid awake at night, replaying a conversation in your head, worrying about how someone might have perceived you? Or maybe you've stopped yourself from speaking up, chasing a dream, or being your true self, just because you feared what others might think. Here's a powerful truth that might just change your life. It's not the things themselves that disturb us, it's our opinions about them. That quote comes straight from ancient Stoic wisdom. And what if I told you that most of the pressure, stress, and fear you're feeling is self-created? Here's the twist. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is thinking about you as much as you think. Sounds harsh? Maybe. But it's actually liberating, because once you truly internalize this, you're free. In this video, we're going to dive deep into one of the most empowering Stoic lessons. Stop seeking validation. Let go of the need for approval. And in doing so, you unlock something incredible, your true personal power. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll see the world and yourself through a whole new lens. Let's start with one of the most common traps we all fall into, seeking approval from others. Think about it. How often do you catch yourself altering your behavior, your words, even your appearance, just to fit someone else's expectations? We crave compliments. We fear criticism. But here's the problem. We can't control what people think. One day, you might be praised for your creativity, your kindness, or your hard work. The next, someone might tear you down for those exact same traits. Why? Because people's opinions are like shifting sand, constantly changing, rarely consistent, and often influenced more by their mood than by your actions. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught, it's not external events that disturb us. It's our interpretation of them. So why would we build our self-worth on something as unstable as public opinion? Imagine this. You're an artist who just unveiled a new painting. One person says it's breathtaking. Another calls it childish. Same painting. Two completely different reactions. Which one is right? The truth is, it doesn't matter. What matters is how you feel about your work. That's the Stoic way. Focus on your own internal values. Build your foundation there, not in the ever-changing winds of validation. Now that we've begun to peel away the illusion of needing others' approval, what takes its place? Self-trust, self-reliance. Two of the most underrated superpowers in a world obsessed with likes, shares, and applause. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and one of the great Stoic philosophers, didn't wait around for people to pat him on the back. He didn't need fanfare or external validation to make tough decisions. His approval came from within. That kind of confidence doesn't happen overnight. It's built slowly, by turning inward and strengthening your own internal compass. Ask yourself, how often do I second-guess myself because of what others might think? What if, just what if, you stopped doing that? What if you gave yourself permission to trust your own instincts, your own experiences, and your own path? That's what Stoicism teaches us, to lead ourselves, to measure ourselves by our own standards, not someone else's. And once you start doing that, you become unstoppable. Seneca, another great Stoic, once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Think about how much of your anxiety comes not from what actually happens, but from what might happen, or worse, what someone might be thinking. You walk into a room, someone glances your way. Immediately, your mind spins a narrative. Are they judging me? Do I look weird? Did I say something wrong? Stop. Take a breath. Ask yourself one simple Stoic question. Is this within my control? If the answer is no, let it go. When you let go of imaginary judgments and focus instead on what you can control, your actions, your values, your mindset, you step into a whole new kind of freedom. You stop carrying the weight of everyone else's imagined thoughts and start living with a lighter, freer heart. In a noisy world full of distractions and comparisons, Stoicism calls us back to the self. not in a selfish way, but in a reflective, intentional, grounded way. Self-reflection is your mental gym. The more you practice, the stronger you become, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Think of an elite athlete. They don't train for applause. They train to master their craft, to get better, faster, stronger for themselves. The crowd? That's just background noise. You should approach life the same way. Don't perform for the crowd. Don't live for likes. Live for growth. Make your actions about becoming, not impressing. When you start doing that, something incredible happens. You become resilient, and nothing, no opinion, no criticism, no external chaos can shake you. Here's a game-changing realization. Nobody cares about your every move. Yes, it's humbling, but it's also liberating. We spend so much energy trying to control the image we project, obsessing over what others see. But the truth is, most people are too caught up in their own lives to be tracking yours. And once you fully accept that, really let it sink in, you become free. Free to make bold choices, free to be yourself, free to pursue what truly matters to you. No more performing, no more pretending, just you, living with integrity and authenticity. Your life is yours, not theirs. Own it. Let's finish with one of the hardest, but most rewarding lessons Stoicism has to offer. Release your expectations, especially of others. We set ourselves up for disappointment when we expect others to treat us a certain way, react a certain way, or validate us in the ways we crave. But here's the Stoic truth. You can't control others. You can only control your response. So instead of demanding that others see you a certain way, or hoping they'll finally give you the approval you've been chasing, shift your energy inward. Set your own standards. Live by them. Let go of the rest. When you stop needing people to behave how you think they should, you stop being a prisoner of their behavior. And that, my friend, is pure freedom. So, what if you stopped caring about what others think? Not because you're cold or distant, but because you finally realized you don't need their approval to be whole. What if you measured your worth not by someone else's opinion, but by your own values, your own growth, your own purpose? That's the Stoic path. That's true freedom. And that journey, it starts with just one simple shift. Stop looking outward and start looking within. If this resonated with you, stay tuned, because we're just getting started. So far, we've explored how letting go of others' opinions and focusing inward can set you free. But there's another layer to this. Something subtler, yet just as powerful. Expectations. Especially the ones we don't even realize we're carrying. Let's keep going. Picture this. You've been working overtime, consistently delivering results, going above and beyond. A promotion is coming up, and you're sure you've earned it. You imagine the announcement, the recognition, maybe even a raise. But then, it doesn't happen. Someone else gets the promotion. No explanation. No thank you, nothing. How do you feel? Frustrated, angry, hurt, maybe even betrayed. That's a perfectly human reaction. But it also reveals something deeper. Your emotional investment in an outcome you couldn't fully control. This is where Stoicism offers us a radical, liberating shift. What if, instead of pouring our emotional energy into hoping for recognition, we poured it into doing the best work we're capable of, simply for the sake of excellence, not for applause, not for validation, not for a reward, just because it aligns with our values, with who we are. Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus solely on our actions, to commit ourselves to what is within our control, and then to detach from the outcome. Why? Because outcomes often depend on things outside of us. Office politics, someone else's biases, random timing. When we learn to release those expectations, we also release the disappointment that comes with them. It doesn't mean we stop caring about our work. It means we stop tying our self-worth to the result. By doing this, we unlock a surprising kind of peace, the kind that comes from being fully present, fully engaged, and emotionally free from the roller coaster of external approval. Ask yourself, what if doing your best was enough? Not because someone else says so, but because you know it to be true. That's where real fulfillment begins. Let's take this one step further. We live in a world that worships numbers, likes, views, followers, promotions, salaries, trophies. Success for many has become a scoreboard, and we're all constantly refreshing the page. But Stoicism calls us to step away from that noise. According to the Stoics, and especially Marcus Aurelius, true success isn't about how others perceive you. It's about how much you've grown, not on paper, not in someone else's rankings, but within yourself. Imagine standing in front of a mirror, not to admire how you look, but to examine your character. Are you more patient today than you were last year? Have you become more honest with yourself? Are you living in alignment with your core values? That's the measure of a successful life in Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius, despite being Emperor of Rome, constantly reminded himself in his private writings not to be swayed by fame or flattery. He knew that external praise is fleeting, but personal virtue is lasting. When you judge your success by your own standards, when you shift from "how do people see me" to "am I becoming the person I want to be?" that's when you begin to build a life of deep contentment and true strength. Start today by asking yourself, what is truly important to me? What kind of life do I want to live, regardless of whether anyone notices? This is the core of Stoic success. It's not about applause. It's about authenticity. It's not about being impressive. It's about being intentional. Because in the end, it's not the world's opinion that shapes your soul. It's your own reflection in the quiet moments when no one else is watching. If this video helped you shift your mindset, even just a little, give it a like, drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. We've got plenty more Stoic wisdom coming your way. And remember this: nobody cares as much as you think, and that's not something to fear. It's the most empowering truth you can embrace. We'll see you in the next video.